We from BENEO are pleased to contribute to this online event. It is our mission to connect nutrition and health, and today I'd like to elaborate on how science-based ingredients can support people's health and well-being. It matters what you eat. It is well established scientifically that non-communicable diseases, so-called NCDs, can be prevented or delayed in their onset by changing the way we live and eat. What is not so well known is that nutrition also plays a role in fighting infectious diseases. The strengthening of our inner defense system and blood sugar management are elements to look at in this context. NCDs take 20 or 30 years to develop. Small mistakes in what we eat and do every day may lead to major health problems later in life. On the other hand, doing small things right every day may help to prevent diseases and add healthy years to your life. Also, our invisible bodyguard, our inner defense system, needs to be treated well in order to function well. It surely counts what you eat on a daily basis. The burden of NCDs will rise, having in mind that the number of people over 60 years of age will double by 2050. This will have a big influence in many ways. And aging means a number of things for an individual. Body weight and body fat mass increases, impaired glucose tolerance and insulin resistance is seen very often. Heart and blood vessel problems are increased. The risk of bone fractures increases. Digestive function may not function well anymore. The microbiota changes. Chronic systemic inflammation may occur, just to name some of them. Is the consumer aware that what you eat matters and that you can influence now how you will feel later in life? The answer is yes. Pre-corona consumer research showed that preventive health and healthy aging was at the top of consumers' minds. 55% of consumers globally choose foods and beverages that provide protective, preventive health benefits. Since the corona crisis started, consumers learned a lot and life changed dramatically. Science played a crucial role, fortunately, and scientists were good educators as well. Some of the key learnings beside hygienic basics are listed here and were helpful in judging one's own risk situation. The older you are, the higher the risk, but also young people may be affected. Males are affected more often. Existing diseases, including obesity and high blood sugar levels, significantly increase the risk of a severe disease progression. A strong inner defense system is important and may make a difference. Remember, if there is no medicine available, your body is on its own, and it is the functioning of the inner defense system that counts. Let us focus on this inner defense system, our invisible bodyguard. There are some important things to realize in order to understand why specific food components like prebiotics are influential here. More than 70% of our immune system is situated in the intestine. Also, the gut microbiota is situated there and interacts with the immune system and other organs. Beneficial bacteria like bifidobacteria fight against pathogens in the gut and influence the gut environment. These beneficial bacteria can also strengthen the gut barrier function by influencing the thickness of the barrier positively or by avoiding a leaky gut situation. The prebiotics inulin and oligofructose, also called chicory root fiber, support the growth of those beneficial bacteria, the bifidobacteria, significantly and in a selective way. In several scientific and public health activities around the globe, the importance of the gut and a balanced microbiota are addressed in the context of learning about COVID-19 and the management of it. This includes the question of what to do to make people's inner defense stronger. Gut-friendly diets that include prebiotics and probiotics and as such support a balanced microbiota are recommended by scientific and authoritative bodies like ASAP, Chinese experts, and by the Nutrition Society of Malaysia, to give some examples. What are prebiotics? Where can I find reliable scientific information for health professionals, product developers, and consumers? To address these questions, academic experts from around the world are active and have developed a very informative website, the ASAP website. ASAP is the International Scientific Association for Probiotics and Prebiotics. According to the latest consensus statement, a prebiotic is a substrate that is selectively utilized by the host microorganisms, conferring a health benefit. This is the scientific definition. ASAP also provides a more simple version. Prebiotics are food for beneficial microbes that live on or in us. They are metabolized by the good gut microbes, positively impacting the gut environment with an overall health benefit. While you see an increase in the use of the prebiotic terminology globally in the market, statements are often made based on ingredients that are not qualified, as they lack scientific evidence. The term prebiotic is a scientific term and not protected in food legislation. However, it is surely not allowed to mislead the consumer. At this point, there are only 3 clinically proven prebiotics that have the necessary extensive database: inulin and oligofructose, also called FOS or fructooligosaccharides, and GOS. This is reflected in this slide that comes from Professor Rustle of the University of Reading, presented at a speech at the Asia-Pacific Congress of Clinical Nutrition last year. Regarding inulin and oligofructose, the vast majority of studies were done with inulin and oligofructose extracted by hot water from chicory root. As such, inulin and oligofructose are the only plant-based prebiotics available globally. The strength of the evidence is unique as well, with more than 15 studies in infants and children and more than 40 human interventions in adults. 1 small spoonful of chicory root fiber daily supports the bifidobacteria growth selectively and supports a healthy and balanced microbiota. Now I would like to switch to another area of concern and importance in healthy nutrition. This is blood sugar management. Important in the context of NCDs and infectious diseases, as we recently learned during the COVID-19 crisis. There is a high prevalence of too high fasting blood glucose levels around the world, as the green on this map shows. The table from the International Diabetes Federation shows the global top 10 countries for numbers of adults with diabetes, with China and India at rank 1 and 2 on this said list in 2019 and predicted for 2045 with constantly increasing numbers. On the top 10 list, 5 are Asian countries. The urgency to address this is obvious. Keeping the blood sugar low every day is important for all age groups, from preconception and pregnancy through infancy and childhood, middle age, and for the elderly. The goal is to have a lower daily blood sugar profile. This means consumers need to select those foods and beverages that result in a lower rise in blood sugar rather than those that are traditionally high in blood sugar response. Consumers need to be able to find a large choice of products in the supermarkets so that from breakfast to dinner and even when snacking, choices are available. Why are metabolic advantages related to this? Because a constantly high blood sugar level continuously triggers high insulin levels. Insulin is a major hormonal metabolic regulator. This hormone has the job of down-regulating high blood sugar after food intake. This works by influencing the cell permeability so that the glucose in the blood can enter the cell for further processing. High insulin levels put the whole body into storage mode, leading to fat production and storage and inhibit fat burning for energy production. Having these metabolic regulations in mind, consequently, the ideal carbohydrate is a carbohydrate that provides the necessary energy for metabolism and at the same time allows for fat burning. A carbohydrate that enters the body slowly provides both a low blood glucose response and a low insulin response, and thus allows for fat burning while still providing the energy that you need to run your brain and your body. Palatinose provides this. Let us share some of the science now. The ingredient with the ideal carbohydrate profile is palatinose. This is the brand name. In the list of ingredients on pack, it is called isomaltulose. The name palatinose comes from the name of the region it was discovered, Palatinate, a famous area in the southwest of Germany where farmers grow wine and sugar beet. Palatinose was discovered and developed in a sugar beet factory. You can also find it in honey. Palatinose is a unique carbohydrate, actually a disaccharide, so a sugar in food chemistry terms that enters your body slowly, leading to a sustained energy delivery in a low glycemic way and thus improving metabolic health. The human enzymes are more slow in processing it, and thus the uptake is spread over the whole small intestine instead of being absorbed right at the beginning of the small intestine, as it is with highly available carbohydrates. Gut hormone measurements, GIP and GLP-1 measurements, confirm this mode of digestion. It is the alpha-1,6 binding in this disaccharide, this strong binding, that leads to the slow release and the cascade of positive metabolic features. Now from theory to practice. In theory, blood sugar profiles should be low. This means our goal is to achieve a low blood sugar day profile. Our tool for that is palatinose, as it provides the ideal energy delivery mode. So the research question is it possible to achieve a lower day profile? Professor Henry of the A-Star Institute in Singapore addressed this question in this 24-hour measurement of continuous blood sugar monitoring in an RCT trial with 20 Chinese volunteers. And he clearly demonstrated in that study a significantly lower blood glucose response over 24 hours, a significantly lower glycemic variability over 24 hours, and a significantly lower blood glucose response after dinner, breakfast, and lunch, and after the same standard dinner on day 2 as a second meal effect. Even if you are already on a low glycemic diet, you still can benefit additionally by lower glycemic food choices. This demonstrated recently the team of Professor Henry in Singapore, again applying the 24-hour continuous glucose monitoring technique. The study compared two diets, one containing biscuits with a GI of 54, so still in the low glycemic category, but at the high end. The other used biscuits with a GI of only 24. This low GI was achieved by several smart choices of ingredients. Here, as a snapshot of the results, you see the response related to the cookie breakfast. The clearly lower blood sugar and insulin profile with the lower glycemic biscuit is demonstrated. Yes, it matters what you eat. Another exciting piece of research from the Singapore Institute of Clinical Science addresses potential differences based on ethnic groups. 40 adults from 4 ethnic groups received palatinose or sucrose in a randomized crossover design. Palatinose significantly lowers the blood glucose response in all ethnic groups, but the effect is even more pronounced in the Asian groups compared to the Europeans. So Asian people may benefit even more from ingredients that enable the development of carbohydrates based on foods with a lower glycemic profile. I already mentioned the gut hormones or incretins earlier. Here a closer look at them. GIP is immediately released in the upper part of the small intestine with high glycemic carbohydrates like sucrose or maltodextrin or starches. The curve after the palatinose is flat. Contrary to that, the GLP-1 release in the lower part of the small intestine is significantly higher with palatinose. This confirms that the slow enzymatic processing really leads to a different setup in the hormonal regulation of the metabolism. This is confirmed in healthy subjects, pre-diabetic subjects, and diabetic subjects. The slow intake and subsequent hormonal regulation also allows for higher fat burning, as confirmed in over 14 human intervention studies under various conditions during physical activity and non-sport situation. Does this different digestive and metabolic setup lead to advantages when it comes to long-term effects on body composition and body weight? Yes. Less fat accumulation was seen in particular with belly fat, and in a weight loss diet, the palatinose group was more effective. Here you can see the data from the Oxford Brookes University in UK. It was confirmed that calorie restriction works for both groups. However, the weight loss over 12 weeks was achieved faster in the palatinose group. Palatinose also showed a significant reduction in body fat. Let us now put some focus on additional alternatives available that might help to increase the choice of products with a lower glycemic profile. Isomalt is the best choice when it comes to sugar-free snacks and confectionery items. It has almost no influence on blood sugar, and due to its clear taste and technical application properties, it is very well established in the market with lots of opportunities for sugar-free and sugar-reduced options. Many products can be found in the market. Prebiotic chicory root fiber not only support the bifidobacteria and digestive health, they also make the development of lower glycemic products possible. The data submitted and considered when the EU granted the claim looked into the blood glucose response and insulin response. The linear relationship between the sugar replacement function and the reduction in the blood glucose response was clearly demonstrated. Overall, a number of options backed up by high-quality science are available to develop products for the Asian market. Look for claims options in the country-specific legislation and push for more options with local authorities. But does the consumer appreciate these efforts? Let us come back to the consumer view again. We heard already that prior to COVID-19, nutrition and healthy lifestyle were important for a growing number of consumers. Today, post-COVID-19, this is even more important. The pandemic will result in consumers looking to make long-term improvements to their health. 75% of Asia-Pacific consumers believe that maintaining a balanced diet is very important in contributing to their overall health. And 69% say they will likely pay attention to nutritional benefits now when they're purchasing for food and drinks. Let us look at the new product launches from April 2019 to April 2020. The category ranking for claims related to blood sugar management shows a clear focus on side dishes, followed by sweeteners and sugars, and bakery, and some other categories. This is an invitation to innovate. Much more is possible in product development, and the consumer requires these choices. Consumers are actively looking for foods and drinks that improve overall health, the immune function, digestive health, and support of wellness, help in weight management and blood sugar management. They are learning more about ingredients that help in healthy eating as well. As this consumer research in India shows, 74% of Indian consumers believe that more slowly released carbohydrates are better for your health. The gut microbiome and gut-friendly foods and drinks, for example those that contain prebiotics, are of growing interest to the consumer, as this figure clearly shows. 77% of Asia-Pacific consumers say that they recognize the link between digestive health issues and their overall health. 61% of the consumers associate fiber and 62% associate prebiotics with helping boost immune health. This means consumers already apply their corona-related learnings. When it comes to new product launches related to digestive wellness claims in the Asia-Pacific market, the number one category is beverages, followed by dairy and baby foods. So much more is possible. This again is an invitation to innovate. The corona crisis made people aware of how fragile health is and how quickly it can change. Consumers will continue to focus on foods and drinks and ingredients that support overall health and in particular digestive and immune health. Preventive thinking includes blood sugar management, weight management, mental and physical health. The consumer is starting to realize that diet is the new medicine, and preventive eating is key, now and later in life. There are very interesting options for product development with ingredients that support health and well-being. Ingredients with substantiated health benefits are available for innovation, processes and development work. Consumers are interested in these products. BENEO's commitment is to connect nutrition and health and is ready to support innovative developments. Thank you very much for your attention.